Hey Burn Nation, welcome to the Burn Bootcamp podcast. I have a very special episode for you. It's a mashup episode, and it's really geared toward you fitness professionals out there, but I also know that you members love to hear kind of how the sausage is made. How do our trainers and I collaborate around our fitness product to help you be the best you can possibly be? And so I've got a mashup of some feedback loops, and a feedback loop for Burn Bootcamp is the way that inside of our locations as just a normal form of operation and just a part of our feedback culture says that we can all get better. It says that each one of us are able to give each other feedback because, hey, none of us are where we want to be in a perfect state and can't learn anything. And so a feedback loop just assumes humility, and it allows myself as the leader of the fitness product and our newest trainer to be able to have a constructive yet critical conversation so that we're able to get better for you. And that's what it's all about. And so check out these feedback loops from Northville, Michigan, from Canton, Michigan, from Highland, Utah, Sussex, Wisconsin, Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin, and Fayetteville, Arkansas. We tried to put some together for you that could not only shine some light on our amazing trainers that are out there in Burn Nation from these locations, but also so that you could hear how we banter, how we communicate with one another, and hopefully that's inspiring to you, whether you are an entrepreneur, a career person, a money and work, and a lot of that is those are big parts of our lives. And if we were honest with ourselves, we all want to do better, not only in our physical category, I know that's where you're here for the Burn Bootcamp podcast, but also we want to do better in our work category. We want to do better in our money category. And so hopefully through me being out in our locations, living on the edge of the brand, hanging out with our folks, just being people first, like we say in our core values, that you're inspired a little bit to take some of this into your own life. So check out these feedback loops. Make sure that you leave a review on Apple Podcasts for us. We love you guys. Thank you for all you do. 2 claps on 2. Let's get it started. 1, 2.
I'm proud of myself.
Okay.
I really am.
Should be. You should be.
I think that was the second best camp I've ever trained.
Okay.
First best was with Hearn and Beasley
at Burn U.
It was
Okay.
my last camp I trained, and I cried afterwards because I was proud of myself.
Yeah.
Almost got there today, but with my home people, less vulnerable. I feel like I just feel like I'm more comfortable with them. But
right.
I really am proud of myself. I feel like I prepared well. I feel like I pushed my members to do the most. Definitely could have improved upon my heat map. Could have been a lot better. I feel like I had the individual, I had the group, but I didn't have the camp-wide cues, and that was my biggest thing that I was kicking myself for.
Okay.
And then rep counts, I feel like I could have done a little bit better on that. But overall, I'm really proud of myself.
I think you should be. I mean, that's one of the better camps I've seen.
Thank you.
Dude, you're really good. You got a lot of talent, and I'm happy and proud to have you on our team because, man, if you're the leader of this company and you're leading the way for this gym, we're going places. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
So I'm going to pick on you a little bit, though, because that's what my job is.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm going to start with, there's 4 levels.
Okay.
Good, great, outstanding, phenomenal. That's outstanding today.
Okay.
There's 1 more level.
Yep.
Okay, and then after that, your goal is to then make other people good to great.
Yeah.
Great to outstanding, outstanding to phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Right? And that perpetuates and just keeps going over and over and over. And the more leaders that you can create, the more impact you're going to drive in the world. And one of the most important things with a person of your talent and skill, one of the most important things you can aspire to is learning how to be a leader. Okay, leadership is a skill. It's not talent. Right? And you can learn it. Energy is natural, right? And it takes that to be a leader, and you already have the inner workings of all of that. So before I get into the actual feedback loop, you should be proud of yourself. And that's what I mean when I say that. How old are you?
22.
Dude, you just come out of college?
Yeah, I graduated in December.
Yeah, you're killer. You're a better trainer than I was when I was 22, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was not even close.
Well, I appreciate it.
So let's go into feedback. So would you like my feedback?
Absolutely, all of it.
All right, since we got a little extended time here, I'm going to give you 2 things that I think are going to help you move the needle. The first one is your voice inflections in the cross. So where your voice inflection, okay, that's voice.
Yep.
Inflection okay, where that kind of did this the whole, so this is, a lot of people do this, okay, they just go, this is across time, right? So this is over 45 minutes. People start here and then ramp it up, and the finisher's like the last one.
I feel like I know what you're about to say.
Okay, you tell me then.
I need to be more dynamic with my inflection.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
See this straight linear line here?
Yep.
You're not going to evoke a lot of emotion with a straight linear line.
Right.
With your inflections and the down times, you see the times when I turn down the music a little bit.
Yes.
You feel the times when I pulled it in real close and I spoke like this, and I intentionally had a tone where I was like, hey, this is the God voice telling you that you're worth it, every bit of it, right?
Right.
And then it was like, then I would shut up for a minute.
Yep.
Be quiet. Go work with somebody.
Okay.
Maybe camp cues is what you're using.
Yep.
But then it's like, then you're coming back and you're like, for that last 12 seconds, and then you turn way up,
explode,
right?
yeah,
then you turn up, because then you get those people to cross the finish line. All right. So it's the same kind of graph, but now you're kind of going boom right off the bat. Keeping here. Then you're going to go that time when everybody gets real tired, like 26 minutes in, right before the third round. Boom, right back down here.
Kind of
create emotion.
Yeah.
You're not meeting them where they're at necessarily, because you don't want to. I'm not saying tone down.
Maybe I
what I'm saying is have a lot of conviction and a lot of really slow, monotonous, you're not tired, you are tough.
Intention.
Type words.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're going right back to the top. And then you stay here. And that time when they get really tired, pull the music down, go back to that encouraging voice, right? Go back to that, you're being their language in their head. Like, think about it that way. You're wanting to be the voice that is inside of their head, because what's happening at these points right here? What is happening at these points inside of your head, my head, when we're all working out? When you feel, this is the tired scale, right?
Yep.
So if that's tired and this is time, you get tired right here. What's that mentality like at these down points?
They're struggle busing.
And what goes on in your head when you're struggle busing?
You doubt yourself.
Right, your bunch of self-doubt starts to come in.
Yeah.
Right? You know that already.
I gotta be the one to pull them
Anticipate that. Don't let them believe that.
Okay.
I know you're doubting yourself right now, but that's not you.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's the voice in your head.
Yeah.
That's the negative side coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna crush that with positivity today, right? And then 3, 2, 1, let's go! And then you turn it way back up to 10.
Yeah.
And then you're going down and up, down and up, down and up.
Yeah, I love that.
Make sense?
Yes.
So if you use your voice better and you're not so linear across time, you're going to make people move to action. The reason people called me hard today is because of those points in time when I was their voice, I was their mouthpiece, or I was their thoughts, and that bypassed their own negative thinking and installed a different program for that moment.
Okay.
And so, do you work harder if I know I can, I am, and I'm worth it and I'm gonna kill it? Or are you gonna work harder if you're like, oh, this is getting hard and I'm tired and I'm like got things to do, and I'm like, which mindset are you gonna work harder in, right?
The former.
Obviously, right?
Yeah.
So you're anticipating when that's gonna happen, hacking that thought process, and actually being the voice box for people. And then what even happens, if you do this enough, then what happens is people actually take this with them. These points in time, and these highs and these lows, these are the points in time that people remember. And then when they're driving down the street and they're going to make that right-hand turn in a Chick-fil-A, what happens, that doubt pops in, but they're programmed to think now what?
They hear me.
They hear you instead of doubt.
Yeah.
Right? That's called influence.
Okay.
And I rarely, if ever, have given a 22-year-old green trainer feedback like this, but you are super talented, and if you nail that, dude, you're gonna be like fucking one of the best out there like now. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my feedback to you.
Okay.
And don't get complacent.
Yeah.
Just keep growing and keep striving and I love your seeking feedback, and I think you asked me 5 times.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave it be after that one. But no, I really appreciate it.
I appreciate that more than somebody that asks once and then, or doesn't ask at all and then just forgets about it. You're like, dude, I'm not letting you leave this building until you give me what's on your mind.
Yeah.
Right? And so I wanted to really make sure that you had something tangible to take away. And
no, I love this.
And that's a next level thing. All the way, by the way, that's also what you do in a public speech. If you go listen to the best motivational speakers in the world, they'll go, you gotta use your heart. Like this, and then they'll go, you gotta wake up every morning and put your damn feet on. Like, they'll go there, right? Yeah. And then they'll go super emotional. Right. And then they'll go super high.
It's almost just like a Southern Baptist preacher.
Yes.
I feel like
you are literally a Southern Baptist preacher.
I love it. I moved to Arkansas for a reason.
With fitness as your religion. How about that? Right?
Yeah, I love that.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. Now tell me what you're gonna do next camp.
I'm going to change my verbiage from what you said. I want more dynamic inflection in my voice. I want to be more engaging with my voice. Not necessarily meet people where they are, but pull them out of that darkness when they are starting to get low on themselves. Become the voice inside their head. It's scary to think like, shit, I could be the person that they hear when they're going throughout their day and they're not in here and they're not taking my camp, but that's powerful to me. So that's my number one. And you didn't touch on this, but I want to. You came up behind me and you were like, hey, trial, love on her.
Yes.
I need to become better at that.
Yep.
From the jump.
Yep.
That's something I've always struggled with and I really want to get better at that.
Yep.
So this first, trials in conjunction.
Do you want to take a shot at why I gave you this feedback and not that feedback?
Do I want to take a shot?
Yeah, take a shot at why I would give you this feedback rather than that feedback.
Okay. I feel like this is more procedural, like I needed to hear this in order to make that change. The trial, I feel like maybe that was just a situational thing, like you realize that, hey, this is an out-of-system day. I'm not sure, maybe I could be wrong, but normally I feel like I'm a lot better with trials. I'm not great, I'll tell you that off the bat. But this, I had never even heard before.
Okay.
This has never been presented to me.
That's going to move the needle.
Got it.
For you, personally. That's why I would give you that feedback. I get an opportunity to give you, and this is a little bit of an extended meeting because I'm here and we got Zay and we're going to share this with trainers and stuff. And I want to just make sure that I give you the thing that's going to move the needle the most for you.
Yes.
Right? And by the way, we did it real time.
Yeah.
Right? We did real time training. We're going to learn, I'm going to teach everybody who doesn't already know this at Summit this year. It's like real time training is coming up behind the trainer when they are on the floor. I ran by you and I said, hey, when you have 10 seconds, come find me. I ran back off the floor. Yep. You did your thing for about another 90 seconds, 2 minutes or so, and then you came and found me, and I just said, hey, who's your trial member?
What's her name?
What's her name?
Go love on her.
Go love on her,
Yep.
right? And you went and did that right away, and then you didn't stop that. I don't need to bring that here. We've already fixed that.
Okay.
That's what real-time training is all about,
is
not needing to go from feedback loop to feedback loop in order to make progress. Right? It's like a real-time quick feedback loop. Yeah. So now you just don't forget that anymore.
Yep.
Right? Yep. Like the only way you could go wrong is if you don't compound. You know what compound is?
Just add on top.
Keep adding on top.
Yeah.
Get something foundational, keep it, don't lose it, add something else, keep both of those things, add something else, keep all three of those.
Yeah.
And then take inventory down the road and be like, okay, what can I drop now?
Right.
Somewhere in the future. So
okay.
Perfect. You're amazing. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Good job.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, because of you, we're going to be the best we are the best training company in the planet.
Absolutely.
100%. I believe that. Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
Yep.
What did you do that was good? And then in one area of opportunity.
I felt like my energy was good, and I felt like my timing was good.
I agree.
If one thing I could work on more is that
Yep.
I feel like staying in a member's bubble.
Great.
I've never been good at that.
Okay. Would you like my feedback?
Yes, please.
Okay, from my perspective, she just trained. Her energy is amazing. It just radiates throughout the entire room, and just the way that you command the room and people listen to you, they trust you, they want to work hard for you, and your form cues are really good. You got people to do exactly what you asked them to do, and I think one of your biggest areas of opportunity is just when you find yourself in no man's land, don't be in the spot where the bomb's going to go off. You know what I mean? I need to get somewhere where I can continue to add that value. You did a great job of reiterating all the things that you wanted, but the part where it's going to take you to the next level is getting in with them and using your hands and being in their space to make sure that they're going to execute everything that you've already asked them to do, because they know what they're supposed to do. But our members are inherently always going to stop a little bit short of that RP 10, right? And you have so much energy, they want to work hard for you, but once you put your hands on them and you can allow them to feel your presence, you're going to be able to get them to an RP of 10 so much faster. So being decisive when you get to those goals, and me and Devan were talking about it before this, is like there's 5 things you can do when you go with your members one-on-one, and what are those things that you can do when you get with them?
Rep manipulation, or rep count, rep manipulation.
Yep.
We just talked about this afternoon. Rep count, rep manipulation.
Take your time.
You got it. So what's the first thing we look for when I'm with a member?
Form.
Okay, form. Then what's the second thing on a strength
Load.
aid? Okay.
Rep count, rep manipulation. 3.
And then I want to get them a rep
Goal.
goal. Okay, and then first it always starts with, if I'm with a member and I want to greet her by name. Okay, and then it always ends with the what, which you almost missed Zay one time. Over there in front of it, and he went like this.
Oh, high five.
Always starts with the name, ends with a high five. And I think, honestly, and me and Danielle were talking about this, is before you train, have an idea of what you want to do with people, and I think that will help give you the confidence to get in their bubble. So if you already step on the floor knowing, okay, this is how I'm going to train the rows. I know I'm going to give them a med ball if they can handle it. I'm going to make sure they're horizontal under the rig. Then maybe I'll take the ball off, and I'm always going to do body weight rows there. And that's what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to challenge people there. And if you have that game plan all the way around the room, just like you did with Rob, you did the hand under the kettlebell, you controlled his tempo. If I know that that's what I'm going to do at every station with every exercise, now you have the confidence. So when you step into someone's bubble, you're just rinse, wash, and repeat, and you have the confidence to exude that into them. And now their RP is going to get higher because your energy is already freaking amazing. Now you're just relatively challenging them to do a little bit more than they've ever done before because you got them to do that. And you can take responsibility for that. And that's a really, really good feeling. Is that fair?
Yes.
Let's do a practice rep. That's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? We'll do it right now. Do that. Go.
For like push-ups?
I don't.
Okay, yeah.
You're the trainer. I'm
You're
just
doing
a
5
member.
push-ups. 5 push-ups. Lead with the chest.
What's the first thing that you're?
First chest.
Okay, let's pretend
form.
you don't know me. Let's pretend you don't know me. Okay.
Okay.
You're in my eye bubble. How does that start?
Okay. So wrists right underneath the shoulders. You're gonna lead with the chest down to a push-up, either on your hands and feet, or drop
Good.
down to your knees.
Okay. Wrong, but that's good. Okay. Okay. You don't know me,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
What's your name? I don't even know
Oh,
you. I'm
I'm
not
Lori.
gonna trust you unless I know you. Like, get away from me, lady, unless you want to like.
I'm Lori.
Oh, hi, Lori.
What's your name?
My name's Devan.
Hi, Devan. Nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Any injuries?
No, I'm actually really good to go.
Okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you can go on your hands and feet.
Okay.
5 push-ups.
Okay.
Good. Chest to the ground. So down and hold. You can go down and hold. That'd be the rep manipulation.
That's okay.
Okay.
So now,
Hold
why?
there, 3, 2, 1, bring it up back up.
So, and I think one area, so while Devan's doing this, when Devan gets tired, he's going to need form cues.
Okay.
So where are his hands, where are his elbows, where is his body in space? Because a lot of our members don't know. And we spend a lot of time over here on the rig fixing form, especially, and I even had to do this to Devan. And Devan's conditioned. But I want to make sure when he's rowing, he's driving through his elbows. When he's doing his push-ups, he's pushing the floor away with his chin above the fingertips. His elbows aren't flared out at 90 degrees because Devan, he told you he didn't have any injuries. He does have some shoulder injuries.
Okay.
But I want to make sure that his elbows come back like 75 degrees. And I want to push the floor away, and I always want to make sure shoulders, hips, knees, ankles are in one straight line.
Okay.
Because what happens is, what do members do? They stick their booty up in the air, and I don't want
Or
to.
they sink
And no one wants.
See what he's doing?
And no one wants to look at Devan's butt, so I'm going to keep my hands on him to make sure that if I'm holding him, go into a static hold, DK, down at the bottom. So if I'm here, I want to make sure I have control of him because I don't want this. I can rotate his pelvis with my hands there. And if he's doing that, and go up and hold again if you can hold the bottom if you're not tired. Go down a little bit lower. If he's right there, that's not where I want him. I want his elbows at 90 degrees. DK, 90 degrees. So it's not your hands, but like where he's static holding. So if he's here, because if he's down, if he's resting at the bottom with his nose barely above the floor, there's no tension on his chest, it's on his shoulders. Up a little bit higher, 90 degrees to the elbow. See, now he's struggling. And you can tell, he's shaking.
Yeah.
I can tell because the back of his neck's getting red. You know? So if I see his neck getting red, I know that he's doing the right thing. But those
Practice rep. That's a bad idea.
yeah, but see, those little things, we talk about rep manipulation. I don't need to manipulate anything. I just need what his form and his load, if applicable, to be really, really good. And we were talking about this earlier, I don't need to use half reps, full reps, pulses, pauses, because if Devan is a member and I want him to do something he's never done before, he's not going to post on Instagram, I did 50 half to full push-ups. No, he's going to celebrate 50 push-ups, period, because that's what's really, really hard. And that's going to give Devan confidence to do that, is when I celebrate him for doing the things that I've asked him to do with full range of motion and appropriate weight. And those little nuances, that's what builds trust with your members. Like, damn, Lori, she knows her shit.
Yeah.
You know, she knows these little things that make little tweaks that make exercises harder. When I was training people, all I did was tell people to don't be nervous, relax your shoulders. And even Zay was like, I've never felt my lats before. And I didn't even do anything. I just push your shoulders down.
See what he's naturally doing? When he talks, he goes, hey, relax your shoulders.
Yeah.
Tilt your hips.
Yeah.
Pinch the penny. Roll your chin up. Right? Yeah, that gives me safety. That gives me security. You're not, you've got permission to do that.
Yeah.
They're paying a premium membership. They got in their car. They drove all the way here. Oftentimes they're like rolling in deep with some kids and like poopy diaper bags and stuff. Right? They walk under this sign that anytime you walk under the Burn Boot Camp sign, it's like, oh my gosh, that's a little scary. Right? And then they come on the floor and willingly are here for you. All of that is a vote of permission for you to get hands-on and to deliver the service that, that we're supposed to deliver. Now, I'm going to do it with you. You go down to the push-up. Okay, ready? Hey, all right, everybody, 1 minute, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, go ahead and put your knees on the ground real quick. What is your name?
Lori.
Lori, I'm Devan. Nice to meet you. Hey, do I have permission to help you out a little bit? Okay, so let's go ahead and see what you look like with those feet, those toes on the ground. Okay, now knees off the ground. And then tilt your hips up just a little bit. Perfect. You hear what I said right there? Go relax. What did I say that allowed me to get in and start manipulating your body right away?
You asked for permission.
I asked for permission. And if I ask for permission, you say yes, it's trust. We're building trust with one another. So name and permission right away. Okay? You'll see me tomorrow at 9 a.m. not know anybody, and I'll know name, permission, name, permission, name, permission, name, permission. By the end of camp, everyone's gonna love me. Right? Because it's just human psychology. Okay? So let's go again. So I got name, I got permission. Okay? Hey, so we're gonna go 5 reps right here, okay? Hey, 30 seconds left. Go ahead, Lori. Good, very nice. 2. Now take your hips up with you. 3, good. Down. 4, 5, 4, and hold it right there, okay? 3, 2, 1 more, and 1. Good, we said 5 and you did 6. Let's go. Hooray, come on. Rotate. Right? Follow me? Name, permission, goal, exceed goal, high five and go. High five and compliment. That's the eye bubble, right? So Luke said it one way, I said it one way, you did it, I did it. We just try to give you multiple perspectives so that it just sticks with you, right? And that's the bread and butter. That's personal training in a group setting. That's what we call group personal training, right? When you're down with that one person individually, you're able to just look up. You know people's names, right? That's part of the reason you need to know their name, because you got to train them when you're with somebody else. And then Luke we were talking about over there, sometimes you got lost in no man's land. Okay, listen, that right there is what we call sit stay, okay? The swivel part is where you're looking up, looking at your groups, making sure that you're not missing your time, because time equals trust too, camp cues. But then as soon as you're done with that, Lori, that was so great. You said you're going to do 5, you did 6, rotate, you're so awesome. And then I go, right to Luke, right next, right? And then I do the same thing. It's just, he said, what'd you say? Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going to go same thing, right to Isaiah, and then same thing, right to Danny. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing that the whole time. That's my play. After the demo, that's my play for the rest of the camp until they finish.
And I don't know if you noticed this, that he did this subconsciously the same way I touch people. Go back down to the high plank position really quick. As soon as he went to turn, he moved his hand here. As soon as he went, because this is nonverbal motivation. And if I can touch you, I know if you're resting or if you're working. So if I'm here and I'm scaling the room, if I have this touch wherever it is, I know what's going on. So if I feel like a lack of expectation is being met, I can immediately come back to you because my hand is here. If my hand, which happened one time when we were on the shoulder press, you can relax. But we happened on the shoulder press and you turned and moved, and then they stopped because you weren't there.
Right.
But that was when they needed you. So if I had my hands wrapped here, and me and Nicole, we were talking about this, if I have my hands here, I'm spotting them, now I can scale and I can look, because my members don't need me yet, because my hands know if they need me. If I feel them stopping, if I feel them resting, if I feel them going too fast or too slow, because I'm here, I can now bounce back to you, because I don't want the eye to become cold. This is supposed to be red hot. If I lose touch of you or I'm losing the expectation with you, that's not red anymore. But if I have my hands there, I can now be aware of what's going on. That awareness of my members will allow me to keep that hot and get you to a higher RPE, because that's what's going to allow you to get that high 5 with a smile, sometimes a low 5 after arm day. You know what I mean?
Yep, gotcha.
Good job.
Cool.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's a process, right?
Yes.
It's just to run that process, and the creativity part of it comes in with each individual. Because you have to be more creative with me than you might have to be with somebody who's deconditioned and it's their first or second camp.
Right.
You might have to be way more empathetic with them. Me, you just need to kick me in my butt and tell me to keep going, and I'm like, yes, ma'am, I got you. For then you might, hey, we're not going to reach all of our goals in one day. All right, I got you. Okay, I got you. Let's go to your knees. Okay, and when you get a little bit tired, just take a little rest today. It's fine. Right, and so that's then your scale. So it's personal, like that, the process, and then depending on what scale, what spectrum of the scale you're on, you just kind of deploy empathy on this side, and then as that person gets more fit and you have a better relationship with them, it's more quick and easy, and like I can tell Monica, get up there, come on, you already know. Like, and actually I don't even probably have to tell that to Monica sometimes. I just be like, Monica, yeah, okay, right? And that's when you know you've got that relationship with everyone. So that was really good. Great job too, Luke.
Thank you.
Good job. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Hey, bring it in nice and tight. So feedback loop. Who isn't instituting feedback loop in the gym every day right now? It's a safe space. Be vulnerable. It's okay. Raise your hand. If you're not. Okay.
Every single day now.
Okay, every day. So it's every camp, every trainer, every day. It's a culture of feedback, right? The best way that we're going to grow and impact our community, that's what's on all of our minds as trainers, right? It's like impact over everything, right? And if you're not impact over everything, then you don't belong here. You guys all belong here. You've seen probably trainers in the past, maybe in passing, that don't have impact over everything and they have themselves over impact, and that's never going to work here, okay? We're servant leaders, and servant leaders hold each other accountable. We serve each other back and forth. It's a flat organization. I'm the fitness engineer of the product itself. Luke's the master fitness engineer. He's also the person on the floor at all of our gyms doing the feedback loop. But if Luke's on the mic or I'm on the mic, we're seeking the feedback. We're trying to get the feedback too, right? So what else? And I'll do a feedback loop after my camp. I'll run at 9. So there's the feedback loop has 5 pieces to it. The first piece is how was that? I want to let him know. I want to let Vinny give me an opportunity to say one thing he did well and one thing he has an area of opportunity in, okay? So how did that go?
One thing I think I did well, I think keeping people motivated, being loud, staying with people, making sure form and things like that is good. The one thing for sure I have a hard time with is the sit-stay.
Okay, okay.
I'm so used to up, move.
Yep.
It's a hard habit
Yep.
getting rid of.
Are you driven by motivation? Like is that like, it seems to me that the essence of who you are is like, you thrive when you're able to motivate people,
Sure, yeah.
right? What other way is better to motivate people by sitting right next to them, giving them a goal that they don't think they can reach, and then staying with them all the way through until they reach that goal, and then they go, oh my Lord, and you saw this here.
Yeah.
What was her name again?
It's
Cheryl, you got it. So Cheryl is here, and Cheryl, he goes, he was with her, right, in the moment, and he goes 15 more seconds, and I'm like, Vinny, give her a quantifiable goal so she knows what success looks like. Because you said, hey, go hard, do a good job, and she's like, what does that even mean? What does that mean to do a good job? It means, hey, we got 15 seconds left, I need 6 more reps. And then she did 7, and then you high-fived her like this, and she goes, and then she walked away smiling because she was exhausted, but she was proud of herself.
Sure.
That's motivating. Right?
Yep.
This, good job. That's not motivating.
Sure.
Okay? So, well, it is, because you're a motivating person,
Sure.
but what's more motivating? Talking to somebody's heart or talking to their head?
Got it.
Right? If you're giving them goals, you're talking to their heart. If they're achieving the goals, you're talking to their heart. If you got the rah-rah intensity mentality way up here, that's good too, that's necessary.
Sure.
Just have both levels.
Got it.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right, so you see that he gave me good feedback already to go forward with. I don't even necessarily to be critical because he already kind of pointed it out, right? So my second thing would be, would you like some feedback from me?
Sure.
Okay, so from my perspective, as we're over there, I got to talk to Chelsea. I saw 2 instances. The first instance where we talked about the intensity bubble. So there's 3 levels to camp. Who knows the 3 levels? There's one term called the heat map. Who has never heard of the heat map? Okay, there's 3 bubbles to it. What are the 3 bubbles? Yep, and what is the red one? The red one is individuals get intensity, I and I, okay? I and I, remember the acronym. Individuals get intensity, okay? What I just described of giving the quantifiable goal, that's actually what that means, that the individuals get intensity. What's the next level? Groups get goals, G and G, groups get goals, okay? That's when I'm here, that's gonna scratch your itch for the motivation across the room, because I'll be like, Vinny, squat down, Vinny, touch my hand. All right, Vinny, we got 30 more seconds. How many more you got, Vinny, you think?
25.
Okay, we're gonna go 26, Vinny, all right? All right, keep going all the way, keep going, Vinny. All right, on my burn bars over there, come on, Vinny. Burn bars, you guys. Hey, Sally, Jessica, hold it at the top. Yup, keep going, Vinny. 30 seconds, right? So I'm going individual with him. When I address the group, it's goals. I gave them hold it for 30 seconds, that's quantifiable, and then I said 30 seconds over the mic. So I got these 3 levels, and you'll see me when I'm in camp, I actually move my head with the levels so that it reminds me. I'm like down and in here, and then I'm up here, and then I'm like 30. Okay, so you have 3 levels to the camp, and making sure that in that, my feedback for you is in that eye bubble, finish with people.
Yeah.
Okay, finish with them, but don't forget your groups get goals.
Sure.
Okay? Personal training is dying because it's too expensive, and no one wants you to stare at them in your retinas for 45 minutes straight. It's awkward, right? Who's been into a box gym lately? I see trainers, anytime I go into a box gym, standing there with a coat on, with a coffee, and a stopwatch, being like, 1, 2, and then they'll shoot a text message to somebody, and then they'll sip their coffee, and then their buddy will come over, and they're like, oh, shoot, you ready for the next set? Like, this is why we're winning, okay? So stay busy, but you don't need to stay busy just on that individual. That's how we can train 40 people in a group setting, and they feel like they're getting a one-on-one camp, okay? So this is just the heat map. My feedback is around the heat map. Individuals get that intensity. What's the one Q word in the eye bubble that you really want? The Q word. I said it's a big, long word.
It's a big, long word.
It means I give someone a number.
Quantifiable.
Quantify their goals, okay?
I was like, what other Q words were there?
I'm giving you lots of letters. Then the groups get goals. I call them out by equipment and individuals within the equipment and within the station. Names are everything. We all know that. Names, like the number one reason people say why they join Burn to me when I go out and talk to people across the country is because we just remembered their name on day 1. Like, simple as that. Like, how easy is that to execute, right? So know their name, address them from across the room, give the groups quantifiable goals. Remember, it can't be, hey, groups, good job, keep going. That's not gonna do any good for them, right? Hey, burn bars. Everybody, you have 13 more seconds. I need 13 more mountain climbers on the burn bars, okay? And then camps, that's the easy one. You nailed that one all day long. Your over the camp was amazing. You're one of the most motivational people I've heard on the mic in a long time. Your energy is incredible. I'm trying to sharpen this one-on-one training.
Yeah.
That's what really moves the needle for people, is when they feel like they have that one-on-one trainer. Is that feedback fair to you?
Completely.
Out of all of that stuff I just talked about, what's the one thing, this is piece number 5, what's the one thing that you'll do next time that I can expect you and I to talk about after camp and high five when you did it, when you nailed it?
I mean, staying with people throughout the entire time that they're doing the movements, right? Obviously, motivating them through that, going through the 3 heat map, right?
Okay.
Sticking with the individual, going to the group.
What's that key word for those individuals?
Quantifiable.
Let's go, baby. That's it. Hey, give him 2 claps on 2, 1, 2. Awesome job. You did really good, really good, really good. Yep. There's not many ass kickings like a hedgy ass kicking. There isn't, bro. I'm telling you that right now. There's not many like it. Your modifications today were incredible. Really good.
Yeah, we'll see you soon, okay?
And I like how there was one that wasn't that great, but you were experimenting enough to where, the one where you're asking me to basically like rub my belly and pat my head and like jump on one foot at the same time. I can't do it all.
Yeah.
It was like, but you popping the ball up and having me jump. That was probably the only one that wasn't anatomically like feasible. But other than that, if you don't have that one where you're like, oh, that was kind of a miss on the mod up, you wouldn't have the other 12 that were great, because your mind is, I can tell you're always like thinking about, how do I make this more difficult relative to the person that I'm with? So I thought that was great. Let's do a feedback loop. How was that?
I feel like it was good. My energy was fantastic today. I loved the energy of the camp, and I think my sit and swivel was good. I feel like I had eyes on everyone and I reached everyone. Things I wish my timing was a little sloppy today in that first camp, so just tightening up how long my sets were, how long my recovery was, and then just maybe a little bit more like personal call outs, making sure everyone felt seen and heard from me.
Okay, good. Would you like feedback?
I would love some.
Can I get my vision back first? Being in camp and having the perspective of you training me, it's my favorite one. I'm sure it's your favorite one too, because like you can like feel it, you feel the energy. Look outside looking in, it's always tough to like gauge. It's always tough to gauge how difficult it is if you're not actually in it. So that was like a 10 out of 10 difficulty from my perspective. And my question would be, is there anyone in here that you did not know, like by name? Okay. Is there anyone in here whose goals that like you intimately are not familiar with? So you know their name, that's baseline, right? People tell me whenever I travel and they have an opportunity to tell me what Burn has done for them and how it's changed their lives. It always starts with, they just remembered my name. That's the first thing. Like, cause you don't have time to change someone's life in one day, but you do have time to make them feel special and seen and heard. And the best way to do that is by their name. So I'm so glad that you have that down at the baseline. And I obviously would expect you to have that down at the baseline at this stage of the game, right? So then what's the next level? The next level is, do you know their goals intimately? Like really, not their surface, not their fit tone goals, but their heart level, love, purpose goals.
Most. I think the only ones I didn't know were members that aren't consistent here, like Rachel and her sons that go elsewhere, or Scott and Amy that aren't here. But everyone else, I feel like I've dug deep for a why for them and built that relationship.
Okay. So then my feedback is going to be, how do you get Rachel's two sons? How do you get Scott and Amy? How do you get them to connect with you right now, right away?
I think I should ask the right questions.
What's the right question to ask?
I think asking them what motivates them or what their vision is, what their goals are, and being genuinely
and they're going to tell me, I'm here just to like have a great workout.
Tell me more.
Okay. Do you have time for tell me more?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Maybe not. I love your feedback.
I want you to get there, right? So think about in your head, if I have 15 seconds with you and I'm giving you a head goal, because that's what they're doing. Yeah. They're giving you the surface level goal. They're giving you what they think you want to hear, right? But then there's the heart goal. And this heart goal is always connected back to love. And that's how we sell, right? Because if you can get her two sons to be connected back to why they're here today, right? Or Scott and Amy to get connected back to why they're here today, not from a head level, but from a heart level, not from a surface level, but from a core level, like from their true identity, like who they really are. That connection is made instantly because there's not many people that are willing to have the vulnerability in the moment to ask those questions. So think about in your head, how could you, within 15 seconds, how could you get that person to tell you what's on their heart, not their head?
Yeah, ask them like, what's your roadblock right now? Like, what's standing in your way? Or
think more like simple than that. You're going into a focus meeting mode. I'm going into the 15 second. I've got 15 seconds to tell me what's on your heart, not your head. I'm giving you clues here. Okay, let's play this out. Okay, let's play this out. You're Scott and Amy, and you're just here for a visit in the city. Okay. Hey, I'm Lauren. What's your name again?
My name's Amy.
Amy, awesome. So nice to meet you. So what brings you in today?
Just visiting.
All right, we got jumping jacks, right? We're doing jumping jacks. Good. So you're from St. George, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Tell me what's on your heart. What's on your heart right now? Right?
Yeah.
Simple, right? Because they're going to go head, and they're going to be like, they're going to tell me what's on your heart. Okay, tell me what's on your heart. They're going to be like, well, I'm really excited to be here. That's a head goal. No. You said head goal. I said heart goal, right? And then you lean in and you give them that a little bit. You have a better chance. Is it going to happen every time, with everyone? It's not in 15 seconds. But your chances dramatically increase of making that connection if you just establish head versus heart. That's just a simple way for people to understand without having to explain to them what surface level versus core level is, not fit and tone, superficial goals versus love and purpose and meaning goals, right? So many people are like wandering generalities when it comes to their goals. Yeah. We want to try to get meaningful and specific as quick as possible. So ask them what's on your heart, not your head, and let them try to answer, okay?
Cool.
That little tool is just going to help you connect quicker and quicker and quicker with people, okay?
Perfect.
Awesome job. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, I know you got to get on the floor. Good. Yeah. So one good thing. Give me one good thing that you really thought was that you did good naturally. You're like, hey, I nailed that.
I feel like I do really good individual pushes, especially when people are around.
Yes.
That one-on-one, I feel like I do good individual pushes.
Yep. Would you like feedback from me?
I'm gonna bring it into the group. So she said one thing that she thought went well was the real-time feedback. And one of the things that I want you guys to take away from my trip here is collectively in-house that I think I like the word flat. There's no hierarchy, right? There might be training managers, there might be people that are new, there might be people there might be Steph who's been here for 9 years, right? But we're flat in the sense of everyone gives feedback to everyone, and feedback is always expected all the time. If you don't give feedback, if you don't seek it as somebody on the mic, that part of the culture is to go seek the feedback. To go, hey Sid, hey Jen, hey Chelsea, hey Jordan, what's my feedback? Let's do feedback loop. I know there's something to work on there. And when you do that as a trainer, if you got the mic on, that's the one thing that's going to condition the culture, right? Because there's a couple things that in our real-time feedback as we were doing it, and I'll explain how I was doing it in a minute to give you the nuances of it, because it's very simple. There's just a couple particulars. But we moved the needle, like probably 5-6 camps worth of information. We got in 3 20-minute little or 20-second little sets where did you feel like I stepped on your toes at all? Did you feel like I snatched your mic, or like I said something that called you out or made you embarrassed in front of a member or anything like that? I always want to check that because I try not to, but you want the person receiving the feedback to say, hey, that was the way I would like to receive it. And so what do we work on in that? What are the 3 things? What are a couple things?
Keeping people moving, which I feel like is always a challenge. So keeping them moving through the intermission, explaining, warm up, and finisher.
Okay.
Calling out rep counts across the room, or yeah.
You said group skit?
Yes.
Group skit?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the other G? What's the other? This is how you're going to remember so that we can have a common language, right? Individuals get intensity, groups get goals. This is right in the trainer manual.
Oh.
Group, camps get cues. That's called the heat map, right?
Heat map. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Map.
And it's called the heat map because that's how you bring the fire, right? The closer proximity, the harder it gets for people. And you did a great job in the I call it the I, but we call it the I bubble. Just reference it by that IGC, individuals, group, camp. Intensity, goals, cues. IIGGCC, just an easy acronym to remember it. And we talked about when you're in that I bubble with individuals and you're giving them that push, that intensity, like you were with me, and I had a really great time with you doing that. It's getting up, looking at stability balls from across the room and saying, stability balls. Hey, stability balls, we got 30 seconds left. 8 more reps. Hey, Jessica, Sarah, you guys have 12, right? As my proximity to Heather doesn't change if I'm the trainer, my proximity is going to continue to have her working hard. My voice, my names. You know what people, like if I go and ask, hey, what's the one thing that hooked you on Burn Bootcamp? Like 9 times out of 10, it's just like, they remembered my name on day 1, right? How simple that is, which is why it's like names, 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 names. And so when you're in those group settings, it's like, hey, equipment, you can use the equipment. So if I'm with you, an individual, it's really easy for me to be like, Heather, squat lower, hit my hand, right? I don't need to look at you. I don't need to be here, right? What I do need to have is have some direction, have you squat down, have your, knee here, like pinch my finger, like put something there so that I can move. And my head is gonna be here on these guys, and it's gonna be, Justin, Sarah, you guys got 30 seconds, out and hold, everybody else 6 more reps and then hold. Right, and then I'm gonna tap you once you stop. I'm like, come on, Heather, I'm still on you. Right, and then if I see form, I just abandon ship real quick. I know I'm coming right back, but I go fix form real quick, and then I come right back. So just a few times in that camp we did real-time feedback. I wanted to do something with you because I think the thing that's going to move the needle for you the most is one word and one word only. Does anybody like to guess what that word might be? One word.
Command.
Boom. Why do you say command?
Because you were trying to get them to move. Even, I loved it. It was like you turned into a parent. Like, come on, I'm not going to keep going until you do it, and they still are just like, so it's that command of like, and I loved when he gave me some feedback to give you, he's like, give him the why. Say, you're only here for 45 minutes. Come on, let's not waste our time. Keep that heart rate up. So giving the why I think they're like, oh, you're right. Like I should move, not just she's telling me to move. So I think command is huge because then they respect you every time you step on the floor. And they respect you as a member. That's what's cool about Heather is she started out as a member. So they're like, Frick, she's awesome. Now she's training us. So they love her, but it's that command that we're still earning. You know what I mean?
If this is the trainer side and this is the member side, you're right here.
Yeah, she is. She really
You're
is.
straddling that line,
She's
right? And so
straddling,
my goal for you is to get on this side of the line, and that's going to mean that you have to have the uncomfortable, hey Bryce, hey buddy, I love you. You know that's why we got to move right now, right? Jumping jacks look like this, in and out, right? And I do that with Bryce because he thinks it's funny and we have a good relationship. But if I'm stepping on the floor and we're talking about command, what I want to see in your next camp, I want to see that like firecracker, boom, right away. What mindset, what cape do you have to put on? What persona, what superhero do you have to become in order to switch the mindset from being a member to being a trainer? Do you have to metaphorically put your trainer cape on and throw that thing back? Hey, let's go, here we go, everybody, jumping jacks. Sarah, hey, we got 45 minutes, Sarah. You know I love you, girl, but I gotta see jumping jacks or I'm not moving. Here we go. Tim, let's go, Tim. They look like this. I know you did them in PE, buddy. I see, right? And you joke with people, and then that way you don't have to be, right? Because the apprehension when you're straddling this member line is I still want to have my friend, but I also want to be their trainer, and we can't have that, right? Because they're giving you permission, paying a premium, trusting you that you have the microphone on your head, and that they know you're. By the way, Heather's on the camp, right? Like they know you're here. They're showing up for you. They're showing up because it's their time, but they're also showing up for you, right? So all these things should give you that confidence to be able to step on the floor, like boom. What's that exaggerated version of Heather that she brings on the mic that can give you permission to not straddle that line anymore? So to me, that's command would be like your biggest piece of feedback that would move the needle. And how you do that is just when you give instruction, everyone takes the instruction. It's okay if there's one person in the back not moving. Jenny, we'll wait. We're a team. We do this together. We're here in the morning, right? And Jenny wants that. Even if she sits way in the back, and maybe as an introvert, she wants that more than anything because maybe introverted people aren't so seen in their normal lives. But here you see them and you call them out, and that's a form of encouragement, even though introverts are never going to verbalize that back to you, right? So step on that. What's that cape look like? Step on that floor like a firecracker, right? Stop straddling the line, get on the trainer side, and realize that all these people, they're showing up. They're showing up for themselves, showing up for each other, but they're also showing up for you, the same way a player shows up for a coach, right? Follow me?
Follow it.
Right?
Thank you.
Cool.
I remember that feeling. Like he's talking and I'm like, I remember that. Because I'd only trained a couple camps and I'm like, shoot, I work out with you every day and now I'm training you. And it
just
really
does perspective
is
shift.
That, but realize, just like what he said, like you realize, like, no, they showed up with you. Like they're expecting you to train them. And if you don't,
once you got into it, it was like, all right, I got you. I see you. It's just that it's the first 10 minutes is always the most difficult, right? And maybe
now you got it.
you guys should be doing practice reps with that. Like if you got 20 minutes, 15 minutes between camp, and you're working on something, spend 2 or 3 practice reps just getting on the floor. Hey, here we go. What's today? What's today? Arms and core. Hey, arms and core. Here we go. Jumping jacks. Everybody get ready. And then you call it, right? And just mock it a couple times, because the more you prepare for it, when you go in, it's gonna be like, okay, guys, I'm ready. Make sense?
I can't wait to see the firecracker.
So the C word, command. Give me a word that. What's the exaggerated version of Heather if you were to put a cape on and come? Because there's a little showmanship with this, right?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of put that hat on. What do you think would be like a good metaphor, like?
Oh, that's a tough question. I have no idea.
She-Ra.
There you go.
That's She-Ra.
Give her a nickname. Give her a nickname. It's Heather, and then there's a nickname, and then whatever that nickname is, that's the superhero persona version. And then there's Heather, the normal everyday Heather that's going to walk around and have all of her normal relationships. But then there's that exaggerated version that's got a name to it, like Super Heather. Super. That's something like, and then you just. And then you go. And then you go. Let's go.
Hey y'all, listen, give it up for her. Like, that was amazing. Yeah, I have not seen anything below like excellence, right? It's like the top 2 tiers to me are excellent and phenomenal, and we're like in between both of those. And there's like at that level, there's little nuances, right? Like there's little tiny things that are gonna when you incorporate little things a lot, right? That's how we close some of those gaps. Okay, so how did that go for you?
Good. I really liked how it's not just about the station, it's about the person in the station and the entire station
Yes,
as well. So
yes.
that's what I'm gonna take.
Awesome, good. So what she's saying is we did some real-time feedback, and I just pulled her to the side real quick. I actually did this. I said, hey, when you have 10 seconds, come find me. And I did that, and I separated myself. That way she didn't feel the need to be there now, because how many other things did you have in your mind right at that moment, right? Right? So I knew that I didn't want to step in front of her and snatch her mic from her and be like, hey, focus here. And she's like looking through me because she can't even hear what I'm saying, right? Yeah. So you came and found me on your time, and we talked a little bit just about groups and goals. And so that's what you're talking about. I wanted to elaborate on that. So would you like some feedback from me?
Yes.
I had lots of different perspectives, from real-time training to observer to lead to perspective. And all, like when I look at one piece of feedback that'll move the needle for you, because I'm not trying to give her like, I could probably pick on you and like pick out like 4 or 5 different little things, but is that really beneficial for her, or is that just me trying to like flex how much I know about this and just give her a bunch of stuff that she can't even execute, right? So it's gonna just be one thing that if you're only giving that one thing, it's gonna move the needle the most for that one so just keep it at one, okay? You want my feedback?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So groups get goals. I'm gonna hit on that. The reason I asked her how that went is so that she could tell me, and she already told me what was on my mind anyway. And we were aligned during camp because that's what we talked about during camp, right? So we've been on the same page really since 3, 2, 1, go, right? And so now after camp, what I want to do is just lock that in. I want to lock that in, and I want to say that I saw you make an effort to do that better, although I gave you like this much time, right? I saw you make an effort to do that better. And I would ask you back, what do you think is I wouldn't say perfection, but what do you think is like nailing that? Like if groups get goals, how do you nail that?
So probably at 3, 2, 1, go, when I have 40 seconds, I immediately pick a station out and I give them a rep count for that entire 40 seconds. And then if I'm across the room going one-on-one, I keep them to it and I call out their name and I'm counting. And
Yep.
I'm counting from across the room. Hey Heidi, you still got 5 more to go.
Yep.
Keep going, everybody else.
Right.
Get to that 15.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
Right, so I would make one adjustment. Are you open to one adjustment on that? I wouldn't start at groups, I would start individual OAs, right? So I'm inside out. That's the way I want to think about it. So if you're training and she's squatting, and that group over there is the dumbbells, okay? I got Carrie here, and she's going down. I'm gonna put my hand down here, and I'm gonna say squat down, okay? I wanna see you that low every time, okay? We have 1 minute left. I need you to get 20 more reps in 1 minute, okay? And she stops, I'm just gonna do that. Keep going. Come on, keep going. I don't even have to look at her, right? So that's my intentionality here, is to make sure, like, we're personal trainers, but the reason that we're disrupting personal training is because who wants someone to sit there and just stare at them like this for an hour straight, right? So our proximity is gonna equal that energy and that power for you. The whole time she's in it, I can feel her stop, I'll give her a tap if I need. I'm up and I'm like reading all my groups, right? I'm going to my first read, which is battle ropes. I use a name or two, and then the equipment to get their attention. Carrie, Karen, battle ropes, everybody, 30 seconds left. Okay, I want you to get the rope above your eyes. Get the rope above your eyes. Karen, now squat and get the rope above your eyes. Halfway. Back to my group. Dumbbells. All of you, 5 pounds up, now. Now, how many are you on? We got 25 seconds up. Down and hold, down and hold, down and hold, down and hold, down and hold. Hold, don't stop, okay? You're strong enough, you got this, let's go. All the way to the end. 10. Burn bars. 3 more reps in 6, hold it. Karen, I said squat, 4. 3, 2, and 1. Hey, amazing job. You're so awesome. Go to the next station, right? And I'm gonna high five her. I'm gonna compliment her. I'm not gonna compliment her superficially. I'm gonna compliment her from a genuine place of, hey, you did something I asked you to do. You executed it flawlessly. You're a badass. Great job. Rotate, okay? Rather than like, if they're lifting half of what they're supposed to do, and then like, good job. Like, no. That's superficial. We don't wanna congratulate people if they're not executing what we ask them to, all right? Then I might say, hey, next time we're gonna go to the 35s, okay? Next time we get here, 35s, got it? And then I'll rotate them. So I'm never asking you guys to, it's about being kind, but it's not nice. You don't have to be nice. If somebody's not executing for you, just tell them they're gonna execute next time, all right? So between those little nuances of this eye bubble and I'm with this person, and then reading all these groups and asking them to quantify their goals, now I'm scaling myself up as a trainer in a group setting, and people that are not even close to me are hearing my voice in their head, and then they're gonna say, they're gonna quantify that exercise, and it's as if you're right there. Right. Does that make sense? Yes. I mean, this is a common theme, right? So you guys are all fantastic. I've said that, I'll say it again. What's gonna get you from excellent to phenomenal, from 400, high twos, low threes to like 4, 5, 600 at your gyms is that one thing right there where you scale yourself up, and now I'm personally training like 10 times more people, right? So in a group that size, I'm trying to get to everybody like 6 or 7 times. The only way you do that is through the group. Make sense? Yeah. Otherwise, like, I don't even know if I have much else to give you outside of that today. Okay. That was really good. All right, what are you gonna do next time?
Next time, I'm going to sit and stay with that person, giving them one-on-one cues the entire time while I am gazing the room, gazing all of the stations, calling out people by name, calling out the group, giving them rep counts, going back to my person, scanning the room again, going to another group, calling out names. Hey, Heidi, hey, Molly, you got 15 seconds, give me 3 more, back to my person, and then count it down, 3, 2, 1.
Did you see how specific that was? Right, now I know that we're in a place of clarity. I know that she's coachable, right? Because she didn't just let it go in one ear and out the other and said, yeah, I'll do that next time. She told me almost everything back that I said that she heard, and now I know my communication was received, and then it was sent back to me. Now we have a place in the future together where both of us can align and we can look for something in the future, and then when we do that in the future, we get to celebrate over that, and that creates a deeper connection. Cool? Awesome job. That was really great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I will just say that I meant what I said on the floor before we do our feedback loop. This community is amazing. You guys should be so proud of yourselves. I hope you don't get so familiar and so close to it that it becomes white noise, and that you really can step back and appreciate yourselves and get that 30,000 foot view every now and then. I know you guys do a lot of like team building stuff, and you know, Shawnee's like playing flip cup and stuff like that. You know, I know she's all about that stuff. And just, you know, I just wanted to say, like, protect it. Right? Protect what you have here, because the people that are standing in line to just take photos with me, and they tend to like try to give me credit for it, and I never take it and give it back to you. But the things that they tell me when they get 1 minute with me, it's pretty incredible. I mean, just in the past 2 days, I've heard 2 suicides that we've saved. I've heard people who are just spiraling downward during COVID gain 80 pounds in 6 months, and now they're back and better than ever. There's a lady in here, you guys, she's not here anymore. I forget her name. I'm so sorry. Her name is Colleen. 400, 300 pounds. Like, oh my goodness, right? Like, look at the impact that we're having, right? And it's not just one person. It's like hundreds and hundreds of these stories. And I just really hope that you guys do 2 things, and that's appreciate it and give yourselves gratitude for all the hard work that you put in. I know this business isn't easy. It's a lot of physical labor. It's a lot of moving around heavy stuff all day long. It's a lot of smiling and putting on, sometimes putting on that show when you don't feel as best as you always do inside, and leaving your personal stuff in the car with you. And then when you come in here, it's like between what we're doing at the blue carpet and on the floor and in Child Watch, that experience, that 1, 2, 3 punch, is so important to people's lives. And I just, more and more and more as I travel, and you guys are like upper echelon, like if not one of the best gyms I've seen. I mean, it's hard to say the best, like, because there's just a lot of really good talent, but like 1% of our gyms, you guys are in the 1% here. And yeah, and I really mean that, and I don't blow smoke. If any of you guys have known me for a long time, I don't do that. That's not part of my mentality. And so I mean what I say, and I hope that I hope you protect that and protect the team. Yeah. Like protect the team that you have, because the one thing that could start to if we don't pay attention to it, could have us take steps backwards if we let someone on this team that doesn't belong on the team, right? And they come in and they don't share the same core values that we have, and they don't care as much as we do, and they don't meet the standard. The standard is not to just meet the standard is to elevate it, right? And at camp today, you elevated the standard. Watching you train, I was like in awe. You're so freaking good. You're so good. Like I was in awe watching you. And I got a couple things because I want to make sure that you get better, and that our time together, it's like none of us are ever going to be perfect. Like my camp wasn't perfect by any means today. I missed like 4 things right off the top of my head that I can think of. But we're always striving. We're always seeking that feedback to get better. We're always looking at ways to close the gaps. I tell people all the time, the growth is in the gap. And when you are focused on finding the gaps, right, it's not problematic. It's just that's a gift. The gaps are the gift, right? Because when you get the gift and you know what holes that you have to fill, you start plugging the little holes in the ship that are slowing you down a little bit. You start plugging all the little tiny holes, you start going faster. So that's all we're going to do is just plug a tiny hole. Are you ready for it? How was that?
For me?
Yeah.
It felt good. It was my second camp of the day, so I felt like my timing was better than in round 1, which was something I was really working on. It still could have been better. My demo was not 10 minutes, it was 11 minutes. My ending was 46 minutes, not 45. I feel like I got in a lot more touches, and I was able to kind of like sit, swivel, stay, which was something I was really focused on, and something Cody and Max have been working on with me a lot. But my biggest thing was like I felt like I just needed to be everywhere. Like I really wanted to like stay stickler on form. And I was trying to incorporate that as camp went on, but I feel like that's something that got lost in translation as I was moving, just because it was a lot of buttons.
Okay, great. That's a great self-aware synopsis. And the great thing about asking that question is like you said pretty close to what I'm going to tell you anyways, right? And so she's already in a position to receive that because she's already identified it. And if I don't ask her how she thinks that went, then I'm talking at her, not with her. Right? And I want to talk with you. It's just a conversation, right? And the feedback loop, if you do it in the 5 methodical steps, it seems like robotic, but any process or concept when you're first learning it is going to seem robotic, and you need to do it in a robotic nature until it becomes natural, right? And so these conversations are going to be natural now because I've done it so many times. So would you like my feedback? So my perspective was great because I had inside out perspective. And so I'm going to agree with the last thing that you said, of sitting, staying, and swiveling. And I would say, rather than thinking about it that way, maybe I would offer up to you to consider finishing with people. It's not about staying the whole time. It's about finishing with them, right? So example, you ready for an example? So you're with me. I was like, yep, that's going to be my feedback for her. So you're with me, right? You go triage form. I saw you had to go triage, because that's what we have to do. Right? Safety is the number 1 priority. Safety is longevity. Longevity is life, right? And so safety is number 1. I wouldn't say ditched me, but you looked at me, you gave me something to do, and then you just left, right? And you went and you fixed a form, and I was watching you. It was great instruction. Like you did exactly what you were supposed to do. The person needed it in the moment. You were right on time with that. You just didn't come back to me, right? You didn't come back to me. Right? So come back and finish with me. And what I mean by finish is make me do something I've never done before, right? So you put heavier weights in my hand, right? Come back with me for the last 5 seconds and manipulate that rep and make me do something a little crazy, right? High five me, use my name, and whisper something positive in my ear so that I'm getting complimented and I'm growing my confidence as I'm walking or running to the next station. Right? That's what finishing means, because people go inward, right? And they go inward with 3 things. They go guilt, shame, doubt. Guilt, shame, doubt. Guilt, shame, doubt. And if You are somebody who has the authority of the room. Clearly, your command was phenomenal. You've got the best command in the country. You know what I mean by command? Her presence. Your presence. You're so confident. Your chin is up. You look down your brow. You're nice. You're kind, but you're not nice. Right? You're very sweet, but you're also very not sweet. Right? Yeah, sweet and sour. Sour candy, right? That's your nickname, sour candy. And when you finish like I'm asking or suggesting, you finish in my ear like that, what you're doing is giving me a narrative. Because I don't have a good narrative. Most people have a terrible narrative, right? They're inside of their own head. You've heard that before. What they're really doing is, I'm not good enough, doubt, right? I'm terrible at that, shame. Or, man, I stopped too early, guilt, right? And if you're like, hey, you did so great, you did exactly what I asked you to do, you're a badass. And you whisper that into their ear, and then they walk away going, hey, that is called finishing. And when you finish with people, you're not having to have an ultimatum of sacrificing someone else's form to snap back and to finish. And so sit, stay, swivel was good, not great. You're going to be great with it when you go triage form. Come back to me, finish with me, right? And give me that narrative in my ear so that the rest of my workout, I'm thinking through your lens that you just gave me, not my own lens that have been conditioned by my shitty parents for 25 years. Do you know what I mean? So it's very, very, very important to be in group personal trainers to finish with people, okay? And that feedback, if you incorporate that and you believe what I'm saying and take that seriously, you're gonna go from like excellent to phenomenal and dangerous is the next level in a super good way, right? You'll be so dangerous on the mic. I'm so happy with what I saw. I hope that feedback is useful. Is there anything that you found that would be useful that you might want to take on with you?
Yes, definitely. That's very fair feedback. It helps because it actually goes back to even yesterday. Something that we've been working on together is I think command is one of my strengths, and I am very passionate and I care about what we do and what we hold here and the people that we're working with. And so I need to be able to relay that with more empathy, and you letting me know how to finish with someone, giving me a tactical response of what that looks like is going to be a good mission for me to bring in empathy, I think, with my members as a trainer.
That was good, specific, but not specific enough. So what are the 3 tactics? I gave you 3 in a row. What were they? Just so I know that we're clear so I can look for it next time.
So when I'm going to a member, I would start with them. I would give them something to manipulate the rep or give them a heavier weight, something that they've never done before. Then I would go basically work with the rest of the room, fix form, do what I need to do, safety first, and then come back and finish with them, especially whispering something in their ear so that they have an outside perspective of what I see in them and not what they're putting on themselves.
Good, I love that. I would go name, high five, compliment. Name, high five, compliment. Okay, Becky, you did so great. That was amazing. I asked for 5, you did 7. You're a rock star. Let's go. Right? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So 1, 2, 3, methodical. And then the last caveat is don't do that unless they actually did something that you asked them to do. Don't sugarcoat. Don't sugarcoat. Okay, people don't want to be. They don't want that. They want to be told the truth. Truth is love. Truth is love. Okay, make sense?
Yes.
All right, 2 claps on 2. 1, 2. Awesome job, you guys. Nicole, awesome. Give it up for Nicole, you guys. Way to go. Before we start the feedback loop, formally, I just want to make a quick note that the journey and the transformation that you've had physically, mentally, emotionally it's so apparent how much you care about people, and it's so apparent how you're just able to transfer that energy that you have, and and there's a couple nuances that I'm going to give you that I think can really take you from good to excellent, and but regardless of that, your natural affinity for people, to make them feel the same positive emotions that you felt, right? You went through a long period of time living by negative emotion, right? And so there's a lot of people that their primary way of moving through the world is negative emotion. And you've set that aside and you've embodied this new persona, this new person. And it's very inspiring to the people on the floor. And I want you to know, on top of the feedback that I give, I'm here to let's make progress, right? The growth is in the gaps. So before we go into that and have a more critical conversation, I just want to let you know that that's your superpower. You already know that, but I see you, that's your superpower, and you're able to transfer that energy just so seamlessly because you've experienced it before. So do you want to make any comments on that?
No, again, I already thanked you because without this place, there wouldn't be me. I really don't think that I would be here, maybe even on this planet. But I am here to grow. I don't want to be mediocre. I was telling Luke, I'm not the best that I'll be. I probably never will be. But I'm always here to grow and learn. So
Awesome. All right, so we'll start feedback loop. How was that? How did that go for you? Give me one good thing, like one thing you know you nailed, and then one thing where you're like, ooh,
My
yep.
timing was really good today.
Okay, great.
Timing was really good today, and I think I got a lot of the form. It was a little crazy with having you guys here, but I got a lot of the form correction that needed to be done.
Good, and then one thing we worked on, we did some real-time feedback too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did some
Yep.
intensity, getting people not waiting. I like to, come on guys, I want to be your friend.
Yeah.
So I gotta bang it down there and act like you're my children. I just want you to do what I want you to do.
It's good. What that was that word that we used during camp? Starts with a U?
Urgency.
Urgency,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so would you like my feedback?
Absolutely.
My perspective in camp is always my favorite one because I'm in it and I can see it.
Yeah.
Urgency was the word that we talked about. And what urgency means is that you are pulling people along. You're not pushing them from behind, but you're pulling them forward. One way that we can be more urgent, we used a tool called the 5-second rule, right? And it was like, hey, Danny, you get a break, but you get a break for 5 seconds. I'm watching you. 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to go and you're going to respond to that. When you're rotating, when you're getting people, you're spinning camp, you're rotating them, you're getting them in and out of their different stations. It's pulling them forward. It's like, all right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, rotate. Okay, let's get there. 5. Hustle up, leaders run, leaders don't walk. 4, you notice my cadence? Yeah. I'm giving them the same amount of time, but I'm drawing my cadence out a little bit to give them urgency. And as soon as you start that countdown, they're gonna go, whoop, okay, I gotta get going, right? They're gonna kind of put a little pep in their step. And so between those two tools, right? So the 5-second rule and pushing people, pulling them forward in your rotations rather than kind of waiting for them. Yeah. You kind of waited for them to start moving a little bit, and then once they got there, like I'm like in my head, like, come on, I'm ready to go. We're like our trainers, we're all ready to go.
I'm working out too, so
right?
I know what the disconnect is.
Well, you mentioned it. I know what the disconnect is because you already identified it. Let me put a spotlight on it for you. You said that I don't want to be not like you're trying to be their friend, right? When because you still have that one foot on the member side. So here it is. It's not being nice, it's being kind. I can be honest, challenging, hardcore, and really kind, but I can't be honest, challenging, and hardcore if I'm nice. Right? Because nobody really likes doing this. Like, we're about the most intrinsically motivated people you're going to find, and I'm still like, oh gosh, it's so hard, right? Trying to move through this whole thing. So those are a few tools that you can use because like we can't give feedback or just like have more urgency. We can't give requests that are impossible to fulfill. You gave me a request over here that was impossible to fulfill. Do the reps. I'm like, okay, well, how many? She goes, all of them. I'm like, I can't do all. I'm like, what does that even mean? Give me 15, and then now we have a vision of the future, even though it's immediate future. We have a vision, and you give me 15, I go to 16, and you're like, boom, high five, you're such a badass, rotate. You know what I mean? Yep. So there's urgency, has a bunch of different tools, okay? And I know that you're vibing with it, but I need you to repeat it back to me so that I can understand that you heard what I meant. Yeah. Okay, so urgency is the feedback. What are some tools that we just discussed?
The 5-second thing. You got 5 seconds to go. I'm watching you.
Yep.
Let's go to draw people in and to
yep, that's one.
Extend my cadence with the timing and count in there so they get moving.
Okay. Okay, so
stop being nice.
Okay, so let's back up.
Yeah.
5-second rule is with an individual.
With an individual.
Okay.
Yes.
I see you, Nicole. 5. Come on, Nicole. 30 seconds, everybody. 3, Nicole. Come on, you got 10 more reps, Nicole, in 30 seconds. All right, and then the drawing out your cadence for that count is more of a rotational group camp cue. Okay. Follow me?
Yep.
Okay, keep going. There's one more good one in there. Give me requests that I can.
Oh yeah, actually give you direction with specific what I want from you. Specific demands, rep counts. Let's go now.
Who felt her individual intensity? Like, let's be honest. Who felt her individual intensity? 1, 2. Did you feel her individual intensity? Okay. I would say I felt Luke's individual intensity. Yes. I did. Did you see what he was doing over here with me? Okay. That would be I'm going to do a little bit drawn out feedback because I'm here, and it's like, let's just cover a couple things. So if I were to close the feedback loop, I would close it just with urgency because that's the one thing that's going to move the needle the most. All right. And then repeated that back. I know we're on the same page. So let's bucket that over here and talk about intensity is with the individual, the heat map, right? Who doesn't know the heat map? Raise your hand if you don't know what heat map means. Okay, heat map's how you bring the fire. There's 3 rings. Intensity is individuals. Groups get goals. Camps get cues. Your camps and cues were amazing, to your point, right on point. Your groups get goals. That goes back to give people specific requests, right? So if I'm down here, what is your name again? I'm sorry? Tim. Come on over here, Tim. So I'm over here with Tim, right? And I started training Tim a little bit. I'm not going to make you do this, Tim. Don't worry, okay? All right, but I'm over here with Tim. Did you see me over here with Tim at the end? Okay, did anybody else see me over here with Tim at the end? I was mirroring what Luke was doing. I gave him a specific request I knew it was going to be really hard. The whole time he's doing that, I'm still calling out a specific goal for stability balls, right? And I can call out Danielle inside of stability balls as well. And if Tim stops, all it takes is a little tap right there. Come on, Tim. My proximity to him is that power. So this individual intensity is because I'm right here, right? He's in my bubble.
You don't even have to talk to him.
Don't really have to talk once I've given him the goal, because I can feel him. Now my group goals, right? I'm just getting my head up and I'm going across the camp on all the groups. Stability balls. Danielle, you got 5 more pounds. Oh, we have 30 seconds. Everybody's got at least 6 reps. You get 6 reps. Hold it. Come on, Tim. 30 seconds, everybody. That's camp. I'm going to this top. Coming back down to my level at groups. I'm going, dumbbells. It's a pause. Remember, everybody hold it up and pause. Show me what a pause looks like. Isaiah, come on. Pause it. There we go. Come on, Tim. Hold it, Tim. Hold it. 5, everybody. 4. Right? And so I'm going, there's 3 levels. Like you're reading 3 levels of camp and going in and out of them, right? Just like that. And the more you can think about that as just a play, you run that play, individuals, intensity, groups get goals, camps get cues. Then you can, I could literally stay here with Tim if I need. I could walk around the whole camp with him and I could make everybody feel my pressure and feel my heat, even though I was with him the whole time. That's why we can be group personal trainers. And we can have 50 people in a camp and everybody feels like they have Nicole in their back pocket as a personal trainer. Is that helpful?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I went very, very, very fast on this.
It. I'm okay with that.
Okay, good.
Super game.
Cool? All right, thanks for being my demo. You're a good looking demo, man. You're a good looking demo.